Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something I think we all grapple with, this really complex relationship we have with technology and how it's, affecting our mental well-being.
It really is complex. Our
Mm.
mission today is to sort of unpack how our digital lives shape our minds, the good, the bad, and maybe find some real strategies to strike a healthier balance.
Right.
It's that paradox, isn't it? Technology connects us in amazing ways, but it can also be a source of stress, anxiety, even sleep problems.
Yeah, it's everywhere. We use it for work, for staying in touch, even for relaxing. And the benefits are obvious: access to information, things like teletherapy, finding communities online. Huge positives.
Huge positives.
But yeah, where does it tip over? How does something so helpful become, well, a double-edged sword?
Well, that's what we call the connection dilemma. Technology gives us this feeling of constant connection, but our brains, they weren't really built for this level of information onslaught.
Right, it's too much.
Exactly. We evolved to handle, a smaller tribe, immediate dangers, not constant pings and updates from around the globe all the time.
Hmm.
This just creates this cognitive load, this constant barrage of notifications that leaves us feeling overwhelmed, burned out. And we see links to increased anxiety, depression, and definitely sleep disorders.
And okay, let's get into social media because that feels like ground zero for a lot of this. It's just different, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a unique beast.
We talk about comparison traps, needing likes, but what's really going on under the hood there?
Well, you have these like unending mirror traps. Algorithms show us these perfect-looking lives, the highlight reels,
Yeah.
and that fuels major FOMO, that fear of missing out. It chips away at self-esteem, and kind of ironically, scrolling through feeds can replace actual face-to-face connection, making people feel more isolated.
Wow. Isolated by connection tools.
Precisely. And all this constant interaction, checking, posting, it leads to what we call digital burnout.
Digital burnout, what does that feel like?
It's that mental and emotional exhaustion, feeling irritable, maybe losing motivation, that sort of mental fog where you just can't focus.
I think a lot of people recognize that feeling.
And it's important to stress, it's not necessarily the tool itself that's the problem. It's often how we're using it.
Okay, but here's a thought. Isn't the design of some of these platforms kind of manipulative? Like they're built to keep us hooked. How much real choice do we have when they're engineered that way?
That's a really valid point and a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Yes, they absolutely leverage psychology to maximize engagement, but understanding that, knowing how they work, that's actually our first step to taking back some control.
Okay.
It's about moving from just reacting to everything to using tech intentionally. So the question becomes, how do we find that better balance, that sweet spot?
Right. How do we know if we need a break? Maybe if your phone feels like, I don't know, an extra limb.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or if you feel kind of twitchy or anxious when you can't check notifications for a while, those are signs you might need a bit of a digital breather.
So practically, what can people do? What are the strategies?
Okay, concrete stuff. First, setting boundaries. This is huge. Things like designating tech-free zones. Maybe no screens in the bedroom, definitely not at the dinner table.
Good one.
And if you work remotely, establishing clear work hours, creating a separate workspace if you can. And crucially, turn off those work notifications when you're done for the day. Really disconnect.
That separation is key, but tough for many. What else?
Second strategy, mindful tech usage and detox. Be intentional when you pick up your device. Ask yourself why. Try micro detoxes.
Micro detoxes.
Yeah, like a 20-minute walk without your phone. Or maybe log out of Instagram for the whole weekend. See how it feels. Your phone itself can even help here.
How so?
Use the tools. Set app time limits. Use Do Not Disturb mode liberally. A really interesting one. Switch your phone display to grayscale.
Grayscale. Why?
It makes the screen less visually stimulating, less appealing. Those bright colors give little dopamine hits. Grayscale kind of dampens that compulsive urge to check.
Huh. Interesting hack. Okay, what's the third strategy?
Third, reclaiming offline joy. This is about actively choosing non-screen activities. Prioritize real, face-to-face time with people. Pursue hobbies, cooking, art, gardening, reading a physical book, even just sitting in a park and, looking around.
Yeah, reconnecting with the physical world. But it's not all bad, right? You mentioned teletherapy earlier. Technology can be good for mental wellness, too.
Oh, absolutely. And we shouldn't forget that. It makes mental health services like teletherapy so much more accessible. Think about apps like Calm or Headspace for mindfulness, Sleep Cycle for tracking sleep, Forest for focus.
Right, those tools exist, too.
Exactly. They can be incredibly helpful for managing stress, practicing mindfulness, tracking how you're feeling. Technology can be a friend, truly, not just a source of stress if we use it wisely.
And of course, if things feel really out of control, if tech use is seriously impacting your life, reaching out for support, friends, family, a mental health professional, that's always, always important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ultimately, finding your personal balance is key. It lets you harness all the amazing benefits of technology while protecting your mental well-being. It really comes down to being constructive, setting those limits, and building healthier digital habits.
So, a final thought for everyone listening. What's one small micro detox you could try this week? Just one little step to maybe start building a more mindful relationship with your tech. And think about what offline joy you could rediscover in that space you create.